What kind of behaviors do you think will be characteristic of successful fintech companies in the future?
Find the problem and solve it. Problem solving and get the satisfaction of that. For example, Tyler Petroleum, we have a very comfortable way of living in a small part of East Texas. But when the Zil Money come, it's too much busy too. But we are solving the problem of so many people.
You're listening to Revenue Science, the podcast that uncovers the reality behind effective marketing for CEOs and executive leaders. I'm Rich Smith. Together, we'll challenge the spin, reveal proven behavioral science strategies, and give you the tools to transform marketing and sales from guesswork to measurable growth. My guest today is Sabeer Nelli, founder and CEO of Zil Money Corporation, a leading provider of modern payment platforms, including zilmoney.com, zil.us, and onlineCheckWriter.com. His mission is to simplify financial management for businesses and individuals through innovative banking and payment solutions. Under his leadership, Zil Money has become one of the fastest growing fintech brands in the United States, serving millions of users worldwide. Sabeer is recognized for his vision in building technology that bridges the gap between traditional banking and next-generation financial tools, empowering businesses to manage payments, transfers, and accounts seamlessly on a single platform. Beyond Zil Money, Sabeer is also affiliated with Tyler Petroleum, one of the largest independent fuel distribution networks in Texas, further reflecting his entrepreneurial breadth across industries. His focus on innovation, efficiency, and customer-centric solutions continues to drive growth and transformation in the fintech ecosystem. Sabeer, welcome to the Revenue Science Podcast. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So I thought we could start off by talking about your time and really about your founder's journey, right? So you were a successful entrepreneur already running a business in petroleum, Tyler Petroleum. What inspired you to start a fintech company?
It is actually, generally we say the opportunity, right? Whenever we're running the Tyler Petroleum, and we have, I would say around thousands of vendors and maybe 200, 300 employees. And the banking side, let's say when we want to make a payment to ACH, we use ACH platform like a bill.com. When we want to send a wire, we have to go to bank and stay in the line and make a wire. And sometimes we want to issue an expense card to our employees, then I have to use another company called the privacy.com. Now there is more like a Brex and RAM and all. So I thought, this kind of a hard for a small business like us. Then we thought, why can't we combine everything and make it a one platform? By the time we were pretty good in the financial sector, that's how we thought to start. Actually, this is started to solve our own problem, not to give it to public in the beginning. Then after we solve our issues, then we thought, let's give it to as a pilot program to some other business like petroleum. Then it just looked like everybody have the same issue.
So I'm curious, when you were thinking about, launching this business, making that change, were there particular places that you went for research or tools, or how did you go about making that decision?
That is the simple answer is that Bill.com founder took the MBA from Stanford. And my MBA is from the Tyler Street. It took me 10 years. So I know exactly the problem of the common small business in the ground. So, which is already filled with what is their problem. So we just made what is a regular Kelly and Travis needed in his small business. So I didn't go much any training other than the practical knowledge in the ground.
So what was your, if you had an aha moment, something that stood out to you that said, this is really a good business opportunity. What was that moment like?
That moment, I would say that, we were using for ACH Bill.com. And that time, .com was a startup company back in 2013 or 13 or 14, I think. And whenever ACH volume was high, they feel very risky because ACH always you can dispute. It's not like a wire. So they did not increase our volume, and finally they offload us. That is the right moment. I thought, why can't we build ourselves?
Yeah. So you, in essence, outgrew your current process, right? And in the process of outgrowing that, you decided, look, I can roll this all together and make one successful business.
Actually, to solve our own problem we were facing, limitation and multiple platform for multiple type of channel payment, and we also have a rental properties and receiving payment, and some customer want to send by check, some ACH, and we don't want to lose the revenue, so we open for, okay, you pay whatever method you want, we are welcome to accept it.
Great. And as you got into this, were you able to leverage your existing team, or did it require hiring a whole new team? What did that look like?
We had a technical team and a basic technology team for the first company, but we have to hire a lot more people into that coding and development and marketing more, into this second company.
You had somewhat of the technical foundation, but you had to bring in the marketing resources and other things that might not have been part of the petroleum companies.
Correct. Petroleum is just a local area based, right? It's not like a country based or not even um, Texas based all over, right? So we have to bring a different type of marketing.
Yeah. And anytime you start something new, there's a lot of inertia, right, to getting anything new started. And one concept that I always like to think of is the concept of activation energy, right? Anything new requires like a extra input of energy. I'm curious, what sort of inertia did you encounter, with your team, or even with, early customers, like getting them to think of you in a different way? Because I imagine you probably started with some of your existing customers.
Whenever we started, you're right, we give it to some pilot petroleum companies, and they also like, this is exactly what we need. We tired of a multiple sub platform and pay multiple people, and the energy level you saying that's, I would say that whenever you start something in the early stage, right, you are more likely to take more stress. You can manage it. It's not how everybody have a stress and painful, right? It's actually how you manage it. I mean, even somebody start 40, 50 years old, some business, he will end up a lot of stress and managing issues, right? And the same thing will happen new one too, but how you manage and tolerate.
Yeah, I mean, that's just so true. So I have to ask now, how do you manage the stress?
So the answer is not that. And every human has some type of fear. Either he fear something, or at least he fear his wife or kids or some. Everybody fear each other. Sons, dad is a part of the human. But the answer is that, how do you tolerate and manage? That is your skill set, right? Which, if you started early, like 20s, I have seen people can manage far better. Sometimes, some of the retail location we have, people come to lease out, and I make sure I give a preference to the early starters. Then they can manage much more better. Somebody starting, I was working in a company and after 45, I retired, I want to start my own something. Then his chances of tolerating and managing will be less.
And you mentioned also that you had to bring on some marketing and business development related staff. Talk to me a little bit about how you made those hiring decisions. What were you looking for?
Well, that is a wide question, right? I would always say that when you hire 100 people, then only you get 3 or 4. I can say in a different way, right? When we hire, there is a 3 type of people. Okay, number one is like a leaf. In a winter, summertime, they go away somewhere for another opportunity, another thing, right? Majority is like that. And some of them you will see like a branch of a tree. They're strong. They will last maybe 2, 3 winter. And some of them are rude people. They will with you until you die. Even if you fire them tomorrow, you see they will come back to you. So that kind of rude people, you just happen to figure out of 100, 3, 4, 5 people like that. So even any establishment you run, you can see that. Let's say even in a country, only top level 5, 6 people are really making all the decisions. Even company too. The rest of them is just part of the chain of the trees. I mean the leaves and some branches. These root people are the core, which is hard to find, but you will get to that point out of many hires.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a bit of an art and a science that I've found, with hiring. And, I certainly like your analogy of the leaves and the trunk and the roots. I've never heard it.
Most of our people are leaves, they just stay less than a year, one weather season.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that's okay. That can be okay. It depends on the role, and it depends on, if it's a relatively low investment kind of role, from the company standpoint, that can be all right.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. That's part of the society. They learn something from us, and we might learn from something them, and they keep go. So that's all make the society running. So
Well, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about FinTech more specifically. In FinTech and financial services, trust is everything. I spent a lot of time in financial services myself, and we used to quip that trust is the new black, right? It really, really makes a big difference. So, what did you do to design Zil Money's experience to try to build trust quickly?
maybe Zil Money Trust, I would say since Tata Petroleum already was existing. So it's a part of the company. So many corporate customer come. Now we have a large customers, like we have a few cities and counties and some state also, Kansas and all, and Coca-Cola, Florida. So that's a very important point. Let's say whenever we go and uh, hire a platform for our service, right? We always make sure that even if the CEO or founder die, company still exists. So that's kind of thing, they have it because the Tyler Proton is established running, and there are several employees. And also, we do certain SOC 1, SOC 2, HIPAA, all the compliance. That also make the corporate companies very trustworthy.
Sounds like you really started with what I would call your natural market, right? Being customers of Tyler Petroleum that already knew you and already had some trust established. But then you had to branch out from there. So, like, were there any roadblocks that you encountered as you started to branch out past your natural market and bring in people that weren't familiar with Tyler Petroleum, as an example?
Yeah, that's, we have to, like I told you, that the certain, let's say, a big customer come, a small customer, he don't care. I mean, they don't know all that. They just think online platform and all is all good, right? Some certain customer come, they think in a different way, like a medium business guy, right? Okay, he's integrated with the so and so bank and QuickBooks accounting. So they are something, otherwise they cannot integrate with them, right? And some company, they have a CFO, compliance officer, all kind of this thing. They are more likely, oh, do you have a SOC 1? Do you have a SOC 2? Do you have a HIPAA? Do you have a GDRP? Third party, that's their concern. So we get that one also ready for that channel of people. So let's say big, like a state government come in, they're thinking, do you have a NIST audited? Okay, right here, there's a NIST. Then they feel comfortable that, okay, it's done by a third party people. That's how, we have to market ourselves according to their culture of trustworth.
Were there any, one of the things that helps to establish trust is transparency and giving users control over their process. Were there any things that you did specifically around transparency or user control to increase the amount of, not only new sales, but also usage once you got people in the door?
Generally, when a banking payment platform, public already have a built-in trust. It's a bank; it never make a mistakes. So that's we have to keep it. Even they complain, oh, this happened, we lose the money and honor that. Oh, I spend here, it's not mine. Okay, fine. So that's trust we always in a banking type of platform always maintain that. So sometime, we are any bank also just like a software business, right? Coding and so many things happening. It could mistake happen, but you never think Bank of America make a mistakes, but they do too. Some coding mistake happens, but people have a prospect that bank never make mistakes. So that trust is already built in there. That we continue that honoring certain small thing. Hey, I spend here, or you charge me $25. Okay, we'll credit it for you. That kind of things we always utilize the psychology of the people.
Yeah, I spent a lot of my career working for banks, so I know for sure that banks do make mistakes. But generally, are very, trustworthy and such a highly regulated industry. Um, there had to be, though, fear that some of your customers encountered in switching from a traditional banking system to using you. What did you do to overcome that fear? What kind of objections did you get?
Mainly they switch because they need additional service, right? For example, they want to send a payment to 1,000 people in one shot, like a rebate company. He cannot do that in any traditional bank. He have to one by one, right? Then he go to FinTech banking or FinTech business. There we have facility for all that. So they come and they will have actually, even though we are a FinTech, we are powered by a bank behind it, a charter license. So they already know that system of trust. And once we come for, let me tell you another example. When you use a regular text message, right? When you send some message, right? Have you ever used a WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay. WhatsApp and regular text both are sending message. But why people love WhatsApp around the world? There are so much futuristics. You can go with several people, large file, you can send this thing, you can send a polling, you can send this thing. Same like a fintech banking and regular banking is the same way. Regular banking, just like a message, you just store the money, move here and go home. Fintech is not like that. That's make you everything you need, sending an invoice, collecting the payment, or delaying email, everything they need a business run, fintech will give it. One payment or 1,000 payment, API, your platform, our platform, we facilitate all that.
So a lot of your pitch, if you will, or your argument to customers was built around reducing making their lives easier, making them more efficient. It wasn't really a cost savings, or you weren't, or tell me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like you weren't really pitching them on, hey, come with us and you're going to save a bunch of money. It was more, come with us and you're going to get these additional capabilities, which are going to drive gains for you.
We say that it's not to save you money, it's make you convenient. But a true businessman, time is, he spend money to save the time. So that's actually, he will realize he's saving that not because of that time a hard dollar, but he's saving that due to his convenient. Same like Amazon say that a long time before, Amazon is not that cheap all the time, but it is convenient, easy to find and easy to compare, easy to review and order it. Same like that, fintech always very convenient to run the business.
And what did you say to customers that came to you with an objection around, let's say, 'cause as I understand it, you didn't roll out all of your products and services from day one, right? You probably had to show early customers a vision for what they would be getting at some point in the future, right? Until you had demonstrated that you could deliver it. Talk to me about, like, how did you sell them on that vision? It's like we're going to start with check printing, and then we're going to go to payroll, then we're going to go to banking, we're going to add these other things. but join us now and come on the journey.
Yeah, that is when we always, customer come, we work with their pain problem. For example, a customer come, even not just the payment. Some of the customer come, he's so much worried about, he's obsessed with the support. If I call the bank, it's take 1 hour waiting, that and this thing. So his problem is a support. So then we go, don't worry, we have always a human support. If you call us within 3 ring, we'll pick up the phone. So we do that. Okay, that's a pain mode. Press 1, press 2. That's an outdated 10-year-old thing. Showcase like a big company. Press 1, press 3, press 4. Right. So we pick up the phone. Like, sir, what do you like to? So that thing. And some customer come in a different. Oh, he's worried about the Amazon got hacked from the uh, target, so I'm worried about anything will happen. I heard Bank of America is hosting Amazon, so we pitch them, okay, we have a banking grade server, that and this, but technically pretty much all of them are in the Amazon anyway, all the companies, or Google, either two option is there, right, or Microsoft. So, and some people come some other, so we sell only that, and majority of the business still in the US, right? You can say the payment number of volume is on the card transaction, but the amount is still on the check. If you buy a house, if you buy a big thing, always need to bring me a check, because check is like a contract, right? And a cleared check in the bank is completely honorable. But if you give a credit card $100,000, you don't know what is that given for, unless you have a pre-specific thing. Check, you have a memo on that. Oh, this is for my concrete 100,000 or 2,000 square foot at 6-inch this thing. So that's itself a contract once it's cleared. And also another beauty on the check in the US is that whenever a check is returned, all you have to go to the county. Every county in the US have a check division, because it's coming traditionally 100 years. You just drop it over there. And if it is a more than $1,500, it's a felony, most of the counties. More than $5,000, it's arrest warrant. So it's easy to get the money back. Even small amount, whenever they go to renew the license, they will tell them, hey, wait a minute, bring this $30 check and a $50 fee or $30 fee, and they will send it to the check. But credit card and all that doesn't work. So that's when we focus on the check for the business. Then check mailing, FedEx, overnight, title companies, the issues that, and most of the small company, they write a check, then they forget in the car, and 7 days or 10 days in the car seat. By the time they get a 10% fine. This is all a problem of a small business people. And you just click it and we'll print and mail it to them, FedEx or this thing. Then we come, oh, that's not good. Then we give it on next product like that.
Yeah. So in a way, you were able to combine an improved service, improved user experience with enhanced functionality that they weren't getting other places. Now, sometimes those two things are like economically don't work, right? You're trying to provide more functionality, you're trying to provide a better service experience, and you're trying to do it all at the same cost to the consumer, right? Which typically means that, you got to do something internally to be more efficient, more productive, in order to, get a profit margin similar to what your competition's getting. So I'm curious, like, how did you balance that mix of added functionality and high touch service?
I was talking a few days ago, right? One of the new salesmen, I told them, the pool will pay for everybody, right? Generally, rich people pay for the poor, right? So sometimes we make many mistakes, like you said. Some customer come and ask something, we built it and end up in a massive mess, right? But we combine satisfaction and all over the platform, right? Many things, we have to abandon after we do that. Oh, that's not worth, and customer will come and ask it, and some of them satisfied. So we have either satisfaction of some problem we are solving, or some of them will be financially gained also. It's just overall pool happening.
And what kind of systems or routines do you maintain to keep innovation aligned? the whatever innovation that you're doing aligned with what the user behavior actually is, what the data says.
The innovation mainly, the innovation what we need next is always we get from the frustrated customer. A good customer or your product is good, nice, that's actually not really useful to us. A customer is not satisfied, talking so much cursing and calling and shouting, he's actually give us a lot of ideas, innovation and problem. And we always very careful to listen to him. I told them, the angry customer, don't get angry. He's actually our free tester and free idea giver. And that niche market, he know better and he give it to us. So let's work to solve that problem.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of a book I recently read. I don't know if you remember, if you know of who Jim Collins is. He's a guy that started housing business, and he was the son of a sharecropper. Built this business. It was very successful. Ultimately, Warren Buffett read his autobiography and bought his company for a couple $1 billion after reading the autobiography. But one of the things that Jim Collins would say is that the best legal department is a satisfied customer. Right? He had his whole he actually got a law degree and served as the general counsel of his company, but for the most part, never got into any kind of legal trouble or suits or class actions with anybody. And he's in the housing business, which is building manufactured housing and mobile homes for people, which is kind of somewhat traditionally a messy business. But he would try to do everything he could to resolve that customer frustration so that it didn't snowball into something else. But I'm coming back to the point that for you, innovation really breeds innovation, right? And it makes total sense. Finding where customers have friction in your process. And I often describe it to clients as like removing friction, you're never done. It's like as soon as you remove a little bit of friction from your funnel or your process, then you find another pain point. And you find another pain point. It's a constant process of refinement and smoothing the customer experience. What do you do to keep energy and attention on that aspect?
Another way I can say that innovation is not, we always has to be the first. Like Apple, they never invent anything. They just reshape to make the best use for the public, right? So how the best to solve the problem. So whenever each problem is solved successfully, out of 10, 7 may be wrong and 3 will be, then you get the special dopamine for that. That energy give you to make another 7 more failure plus another 3 more success. So it just continue the cycle that way, being energized out of the some success out of the many failure.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the future of Zil Money and your business and just where things are with technology right now. So the big, the 2 letters that are on everybody's lips are AI, right? What role do you see AI playing in the next generation of financial operations?
AI is a huge thing. The number one, we were thinking about it, that how we can, let's say, one business come to us, right? And we have all his banking or payment or invoicing, all the pattern, right? So using that, we are thinking how we can use the AI to predict and tell him that, and stating the many thousands of business like that, telling the AI and fetch online, then chances of is to what to changes, not to fail it. Predict ahead of the time. Financially, some people make a financial lot of mistakes. I have seen that, for example, let me tell you an example. He buy one business, let's say a retail location. Then within 6 months, he can see he buy a brand new truck. And after 6 months, he buy a brand new SUV for the wife. And they are not financially doing this thing. So, and big business also do the big mistakes like this. So we can predict that so and so he think, and so he did, and they failed. So we can predict, your action need to be changed. So we are thinking about the AI prediction and to tell them ahead of the time not to fail them.
I mean, as a result of that, do you see a behavioral shift taking place amongst small SMBs about how they think about banking and payments?
Majority of the people, AI is still like a sound. Still, many don't know how to utilize properly. Even a developer kind of people also, most of them don't know how that is. They know something is coming, and it's kind of a confused area now. So now we whenever the people come, for example, let me tell you another example of what we do now, right? Uh, let's say one hospital sign with us. Then we tell our AI agents, go and study about all the hospital in the country, then bring their pain point in the financial, and tell them and find out what Zil Money can solve for them. Then we will precisely send them a presentation and the demo. So this is a problem, this hospital happened in this thing, this what the problem, this what how they solve it. So we can do this way. So that's all we can really utilize the AI technology. Even our part, even the customer don't know all that. Using our agent, we will figure out and find out and tell them this all we can. So then only they, oh, we can do that way. Oh, that is a good point. I didn't know that. So we tell all that.
Are you using any of that for customer acquisition? It's part of your sales process. You do a prediction and you tell them, here are the things that we think you can change in your business based on, and what kind of reaction do you get when you do that?
Actually, no, even heavily. For example, a few weeks ago, we have a city signed up in, I forget the name, some other state, not in Texas. And we made the presentation exactly the city problem, how we can do their payment, contractor, general funding, and everything. Then the lady asked us, do you have anybody working in your company who retired from city? Right. So they think, this exactly we pinpoint their issues and problem. So that's how, she don't know the AI there is a big Einstein behind it. So we can really pinpoint their issues and help them.
Yeah, that's great, and it's a great story. Are there any integrations with other platforms that you needed to make that you think have been particularly instrumental in helping Zil Money to grow?
We are keep on integrating with all the platform available. So now we are integrated with more than 150. So pretty much regular people need, but we are keep on looking for anything customer come, I have this problem, this I am using. And nowadays after the AI, for example, your question, within the last 6 months, AI has become much more powerful. I would say 6 month job we can do in 6 minutes. Even consulting, coding to analyzing, figuring out and everything we can do in few minutes. So we utilize all that, and so integration also very easy. We tell them this is a platform we want to integrate, this is their documents, and this is our documents, what to do. So they will do this way, and we just actually our job is like a plumbing only put together. I mean, not even plumbing, you put the sealant around it, and it's good to go. It's become very very easy nowadays.
That's great. And how do you foster, the kind of ongoing innovation within your company? Is it part of your culture, or, how would you describe the culture that makes that possible?
You mean the culture of the company?
Yes.
I would always focusing to give the ownership, and also culture is more like uh, rewarding somebody and also tolerating how much you can tolerate the attitude. Some of them are highly good in knowledge and they know, but attitude is so bad. Let's say something has, if you want to go 5 o'clock, I mean, he need to go 5 o'clock. But some other people not very skilled, but he's okay if it need to be done. So we have to understand the reward and tolerate between them. And also ownership of the each segment, not just the giving the work, the result also he will have ownership with it. That's really create a big difference in the culture. Then they feel like it's a part of them. And most of the people, okay, generally I would say that everybody need a salary or money to live. But more than that, human always crave for the to recognize them. So once you recognize, give them, that's more than value them. If you give him a whole bunch of bonus without nobody know that, but if you give a little recognition, everybody know it, that's really worth. And also creating leadership inside each system.
Yeah, definitely true. And we are certainly hardwired to, because we're social animals, right? We're hardwired to really value recognition, and that absolutely right. I've seen that in my career as well. Can be more powerful than even monetary rewards. Um, but I'm curious, like when you're thinking about hiring or promoting like someone on your leadership team, what kind of behavioral cues are you looking for?
Nowadays, especially, let me tell you another secret sauce what we use, right? When we hire, let's say in our case, Zil Money need more likely technological people, right? So I would say HR that whenever you hire, we usually give them some kind of coding test or some kind of go and find out, right? If they use Google to search it, don't shortlist them. He's outdated. Instead of that, if they use a Copilot or Perplexity or Gemini, shortlist him, right? Because it's hard to break the old habits than teaching a new habit. And also I tell him, if somebody you hire me giving a problem to solve it, and he writing hand coding, don't shortlist them. And the same problem he go and ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Krog, I have this issue, what do I do? Then hire him, because that's how the world is moving. We don't want the outdated. So I would say from Tyler, Texas, if you tell them to go to Dallas, somebody walking, we don't want them anymore. If we say, should I go fly or should I drive the fastest car or how fast I drive or that kind of technology thinking people we shortlist.
Yeah, that's interesting, and certainly you're adapting to an AI world, by looking for people who are already comfortable or familiar with being, in that space. So, how do you keep your team aligned, across your different kind of disciplines or functional areas within the organization? Tech, compliance, marketing, sales, customer success. What are your practices?
Trying to as much as possible to divide each sector. Each of them have their own head and he will have his 5-16 people. Then also we reward the head if you build another leader from them, and he will get a reward of bonus point. So otherwise, like you said, the social interaction, human always have a tendency not to create another leader who go on top of him. So then it's natural, okay? It's not everybody said no, it's natural. So we reward them. In your team, if you build another team member, you will get a heavy reward. So at that mind, he does that. He will bring the people, teach them. So they try to make a more and more micro groups to manage each section. Even each payment, we have a one product owner for that, and his assistants, 2-3 of them. So that way, things go without much friction.
Yeah, that's a great example, and I got to imagine that really does help to foster some, career development and career path for maybe not your immediate leadership team, but for the people who are reporting to them, and give them a way to grow, a nice path. Do you have any, I mean, you're leading a global team, like kind of what personal routines do you have that kind of keep you grounded, working across a global team in multiple time zones?
We always do that, like a quick meeting, 5-minute meeting, no more than five. I would say that if any meeting lasts more than 10 minutes, that's waste of time. So quick meeting, 5 minutes, and is energized, and a certain group people here and there. That's we try to keep things closely. And also once in a while, we meet each other, especially some conference and or something happening. And that time we really make connection. Even last time when we went to a conference in Nevada for Money 2020, I don't even what I like hire a big Airbnb with a 5-6 bedroom. So one of the guy, why don't you hire the hotel cheaper and better? And it's not that we will get the connection in that time. We 2-3 days spending hotel room, they go inside, we again disconnected, right? So I try to do all this kind to connect each other, especially nowadays a global war culture. First day they may uncomfortable, but second day they will be okay. Again, the 2-3 bigger place, it's easy nowadays to hire a large Airbnb places and all. So that's how we align with all the multicultural and multi diverse people, and which is very important for the company to go global. They feel like everybody represent their thing. This all make sense.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most difficult things about working with a mostly remote workforce, and going global exacerbates it because you have even more time zones and even more cultures to try to integrate, and really still have a cohesive, unified culture inside the organization. Very difficult to do. So, yeah, those are some great examples. And before we move on, I don't know if you have any others, because this is such an important point. I think it's worth digging into further. If you've got any other tools or tips for our audience on how to manage a remote workforce across the globe.
Generally, same thing. The quick meeting, 5 minute, and that's how we manage it. And also, individual team leader and their micromanagement under them, so they get busy in their own world without having any disturbance from the other parties. So that's how we try our best.
Great. Well, now thinking about the future, what do you see as the future for Zil Money and the broader FinTech ecosystem?
The feature, like I told you before, to prevent the failure for the small business by predicting their behavior of the payments or invoices they do, which we can do much more. And Zil Money now processing around 1.5 to 1.6 billion per month. And that's keep growing. Actually, according to the US state statistics.gov, every year almost 10-20% more people are coming online around the world. So, and now we are reached to the point, even a dad and son talks, a financial transaction is happening end of the time. So everything is around the financial transaction. So that's exponentially growing the fintech area.
Yeah, and do you? I assume, correct me if I'm wrong here, you're entirely doing business in the United States today. Do you see an opportunity to go international?
We are, of course, we are actually went to Canada a little bit. We have a few customers there. Now we are partnering with a German bank called the Deutsche Bank. That's like a JPM of Europe. And also we want to go to Middle East also. They're also growing so much, especially the next soccer is coming in 2035 in Saudi Arabia. We want to tap into that market and see how we can capture something in fintech.
And do you have a different ideal customer profile in some of these emerging markets, than you do in the United States? Or are you typically thinking of targeting the same kind of organization?
As of now, same kind of SMB, small business. That's we are expert to solve their problem, which is typically around the globe the same issue nowadays, right? Everything kind of coming like a unified way. So that's what we are planning now.
And when you think about that, what kind of behaviors do you think will be characteristic of successful fintech companies in the future?
I would say always find the problem and solve it. the problem solving, for example, not for wealth creation. Wealth is a part of the byproduct come, but problem solving and get the satisfaction of that. For example, at Highland Petroleum, we have a very comfortable way of living in a small part of East Texas. But when the Zil Money come, it's too much busy too, but we are solving the problem of so many people. That satisfaction you never get from Tyler Petroleum, right? So that kind of thing is a main thing. Anywhere you go, find a problem, try to solve it. Rest is as a byproduct, and they will always succeed.
Yeah, that's really, really well said. Thank you. So one of the things that I love to ask, everybody who comes on the podcast is to just pretend that I'm your customer and give me, what would you say are the main reasons I should buy from you? If you can sum it up in, a succinct sentence or two.
Okay, so actually nowadays our customer come, right? We use the technology also here also. Let's say you come as a customer, right? Somehow you reach to us, right? Either we calling you cold calling, or you have a payment issue and you come to us or sign up and trying us. And immediately, like I told you, we try to figure out pain problem in your local area, in your business. It is easy nowadays. Then let's say one guy is coming, like I told you, the support issue, and you're talking something else. You only talk the support and he feel like we made for him only. Yeah, for example, you coming a restaurant, your issue is that you have 20 employees and you want to pay them on Friday or in a real time. We don't want to talk about any other service. We tell him, yes, we have a RTP payment for you. If you just click it, it will be there, go. And this is, we have a restaurant, him and all, they're using us and they have the same issue. Then he think that this is made for me. This is what I need.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that example again. And I think, one of the things that you're really doing well is tailoring your message to relieve the consumer's pain. Yeah, because we are so much more willing to invest a lot in removing a pain than we are willing to invest in a gain. We experience loss and pain at a higher level than we experience gains and rewards. So, tailoring your message, like really taking the time to understand what are their pains and how do we address them is, I think, key to success. The other thing that I think that you said there is, you show examples of other businesses that are similar to theirs that you've worked with. And so, you're bringing in social proof, right? They use us, you should use us. And I think those two things are really, powerful tools to bring into sales. Well, hey, this has been a fantastic conversation. I really, really appreciate your time. If our listeners want to learn more about you, more about Zil Money, where should they go? What should they do?
I live in Tyler, Texas, which is 1 hour and a half away from Dallas. Actually, the Tyler is a beautiful place. We are inside the triangle of Dallas, Houston, and Austin. So, which is a population of almost 20-25 million people in the 2-3 hour driving. So it's easy to reach all these places. So that's where I live, and my email is sabeer@zilmoney.com.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That's I'm sure you'll probably get some people reaching out. So really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Rich.